back on the show amidst your busy schedule. Earlier this week, you called Jamal Williams the top running back prospect at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Why do you feel like he is the guy to watch at that position this week?
Yeah, if not for a really historically good running back class this year with Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, and Christian McCaffrey, among others, he'd be considered a certain pick for the top 50 overall. We'll see where he lands after the Senior Bowl practices, but a guy who, once he gets through the initial hole, he can finish through linebackers, work to the second level, and that second level burst, explosiveness, acceleration, and ability to break tackles at linebackers and safety level is really impressive. So he won't really get a chance to show that skill set until the actual game on Saturday, but in terms of week of practice, I think teams will see his versatility as a runner, his initial explosiveness, and I think he looks the part of running back prospect teams want in this game.
What influences NFL teams more, the production and gameplay, the film, and what they see maybe in the Senior Bowl game versus the measurables and interviews and those kinds of things?
Yeah, the easy answer is it all plays a factor, right? I mean, teams will look at the game film, look at the NFL Combine, the All-Star games. I'm a big proponent of the All-Star games really because it takes guys out of their comfort zone. It takes guys away from their college systems and those question marks. Everyone's on a level playing field and can really impress or struggle based on how really prepared they are for the NFL level. But as for running backs, it's tough for the Senior Bowl. They can do some pass catching and pass blocking stuff. Maybe the two most important things a running back can show at the Senior Bowl is kind of how they can handle third down situations. But for the most part, running back's really a game situation type position that will, the combine of the 40 times will certainly help their draft stock. But Jamal Williams, I think, has shown enough as a running back prospect, and he'll show his versatility here in Mobile to help him out more. But I think what Williams has done for his draft stock, I think no matter what, he's going to be in that late second through probably early day 3, 4th, 5th round range no matter what. But the Senior Bowl, the Combine, his ability on third down, showing an all-star game like this to make a difference, put him in the top tier running back prospects.
Erick Galko of Optimum Scouting and the Sporting News joining us from Mobile, Alabama. He is covering the Senior Bowl and specifically BYU players Jamal Williams and Harvey Langi. Let's stick with Jamal for now. You feel like he has an opportunity to really improve his draft stock. Is it that way for every player at this game, or is it just because he's in a high-profile position?
Yeah, I think he's, coming here as, for most teams, the top running back prospect in attendance, puts some pressure on him, but he can really solidify that stake. And the top running back prospects in this draft class, Leonard Fournette struggled in big games at LSU. He's a bit tall. We'll see how he tests out. Dalvin Cook has shoulder injuries. Deonta Foreman of Texas, a one-year wonder. Christian McCaffrey, what position he's going to play. So a lot of these running backs that top the draft board and likely first-round picks all have question marks as well. If Jamal Williams can come in here and prove that he's an every down back, that he can be a workhorse 25-carry game guy in the NFL, and again, running backs coming back in vogue in the NFL, especially after Ezekiel Elliott this past season, that's what he can really do. So he's not really going to change his scouting report, but I think more so he's going to give teams confidence that, let's maybe pass on one of those first-round guys and get Williams in the second and third round. NFL teams are always kind of evaluating running backs. They still want to, if they can find the right one. I think Williams can show that no matter where he's drafted, he can be a starter at the NFL level or a key rotational guy early in his career. That's what he can really do for his draft stock at the Senior Bowl.
Eric, he didn't play at all last season, and then he plays this season, and he was kind of off the radar, I think, for a lot of people in the preseason. What did he do this season to get himself in this position?
Yeah, I think for a running back, especially a power interior guy like him, I think his flash is a big playability after first contact. It's really what made him, I think, a top NFL prospect at the position. And running back is a production-based skill set, and they want guys that can produce and get 1,000-yard seasons and touchdowns and red zone stuff and all that. But really, running backs, you want to see how these guys are going to flash in certain situations because you don't know where Jamal Williams and all these running backs are going to go in the NFL, what their offensive line is going to be like, what their scheme's going to be like, how reliant they are on the running game. But you want to see these guys do a skill set or two that you feel can translate well at the NFL level. And that's that ability at the second level to break tackles, to make guys miss, to get off guys at the second level, safeties and linebackers, and pick up more yards and explode to the sideline like Jamal Williams does very frequently on film is what's really important. And I think he's going to draw, again, I don't want to say Ezekiel Elliott comparisons, but that's what Ezekiel Elliott was able to do with the Dallas Cowboys offensive line this year, is get to the second level thanks to good blocking, and then go from there and make guys miss, break tackles, and explode to the second level. I don't want to compare Jamal Williams to Ezekiel Elliott, but I think his kind of skill set fits on what teams see that, hey, if our offensive line's all right, Williams can take advantage of it more than other running backs can as well.
It's clear that Jamal Williams is a special player, and a lot of different teams are interested in him for various reasons. But what's the main criticism about his game as a running back?
Yeah, well, I think you mentioned that he's only played this past year, and I think he's not really a special talent at the position. We'll see how he tests out at running back, but certainly, I mentioned before how teams want that one skill set, the one highlight. The testing numbers may be more important for him than most running backs. If running back runs in the 4.6s, you got to be really special to make up for kind of that situation. So we'll see what he runs. I think the athleticism, the top end speed, the initial burst is. I think he's more of a second level burst guy, not necessarily initial off the snap, quick twitch. Running back for the most part won't be overly elusive. I think at an NFL level against NFL linebackers and safeties. So that's a kind of concern as well. I think he's a guy who needs a strong offensive line in front of him. Certainly guys, Lamar Miller comes to mind as an NFL running back who's able to make the most of his offensive line, whether or not they're playing well. I think Williams needs a strong offensive line. So those are all question mark teams will have, but certainly the combine testing for all running backs ends up being a great equalizer as far as how they move guys in the draft board. And again, the NFL draft process, the Senior Bowl, the combine, all of that is a job interview for these guys. And it's all about winning over that 2 or 3 scouts on one team or winning over the director of player personnel. And any part of this process can do that. So despite all of his achievements and successes at BYU and even the Senior Bowl, it's going to take that one situation, that one 40 time, that one interview that can make the difference. So I think he certainly has some warts, but like I said, all the running backs on top of this draft class really have a notable issue they have to overcome in the draft process, and Williams is no different.
Harvey Langi is at the Senior Bowl as well. What have you seen from Harvey Langi, and what do you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, he played a lot of positions in college. He played some DN, some pass rusher, outside linebacker. He's listed here as an inside linebacker at the weigh-ins, 6'1.5", 252 pounds, fits the kind of norm of NFL teams want. I think his best bet as a prospect, in my opinion, might be a 4-3 strong side outside linebacker. The Cincinnati Bengals employ really a pass rusher who can play outside linebacker in that role as well, but a lot of teams using that 4-3 strong side linebacker. And then as a 3-4 inside guy, as more and more teams move to a 3-4, they need two types of guys: a speedy guy to take advantage of strong defensive line play, and really a thumper on the inside who can embrace blocks, who can work through contact, and who can blitz a little bit. That's where I think Langi fits the most in the NFL, is that 3-4 strong side inside linebacker, can take on tight ends in the middle of the field, can take on fullbacks in blocking situations, and can hold on the interior. But I think he's going to be more athlete than anything else. I think teams are excited to see what he can do. He'll play in some space here at the Senior Bowl. He'll play in coverage. He'll play as a blitzer and team stuff. So we'll see how he works out. But I think teams are definitely intrigued. And it's not a great inside linebacker class this year in terms of projection guys. We have 2 guys from D2 and D3 schools here at the Senior Bowl. So I think teams are hoping a guy like Lane can step up opposite Ben Boulware of Clemson and be one of the top inside linebackers here.
Harvey Langi has played significant reps in his college career at running back, fullback, linebacker, and defensive end. Does that type of versatility help or hurt his cause when it comes to getting into the NFL?
Yeah, I think it certainly helps. And I can't speak to his special teams experience that I unfortunately don't know at this time, but I'll kind of find that out as I kind of rewatch him on film for his final grade. But that versatility is what NFL teams covet in terms of finding a roster spot for him. And again, he's going to be a day 3 pick. He likely won't go unless he tests extremely well. He'll be picked after round 3 and picked between rounds 4 and 7, if drafted at all. Obviously, we're thinking he is, but we'll see what happens. But all of those guys on day 3 have to contribute in more than just one way. He can't just be a 3-4 strong side inside linebacker because he's not going to be a starter. He's got to find a role on special teams, at least one of the 4. And adding value elsewhere is important. So I wouldn't say teams will expect him to play fullback and teams will expect him to be an inside linebacker and elsewhere and all the special teams. Who knows? But that versatility is less about what he can do in the NFL, those positions, and the fact that he's both willing, experienced. He's used athleticism in different ways over his college career. Certainly running backs and fullbacks have to move and do different things differently than DNs do and outside linebackers do. So it's a different use of skill sets I think teams appreciate, and teams always appreciate guys who are great athletes. NFL teams are always asking players, hey, what sports did you play in high school? Did you play in other positions besides your current one? That matters to teams. Athleticism comes from playing a lot of different spots, doing a lot of different movements, and certainly Langi has shown that he can be successful at different positions and different athletic tools.
Talking with Erick Galko of Optimum Scouting in the Sporting News. He is at the Senior Bowl covering that madness in Mobile, Alabama this week. Okay, Erick, let's finish with this. Do you think Harvey Langi will be drafted in the 7 rounds of the NFL draft?
I do. On average, in terms of 3-4 inside linebackers and 4-3 strong side guys, on average about 10 are drafted per year. And again, it's not a strong class. I think he's certainly in that mix, that 5, 6, 7 range. So I think he's got a great opportunity to do so. But this Senior Bowl may be the most important thing, maybe more important to him than Jamal Williams, because he's got to really rise to the occasion, be maybe the top inside linebacker prospect. Even though he hasn't played there before, he's built the part, he looks the part, and certainly can wow and impress there athletically. And I think interview-wise, I've been told he should be a great interview with NFL teams. So I think all the signs point to him earning his draft spot here in Mobile. And the fact that he got invited by Phil Savage does a great job running this event and inviting the top guys, using his own scouting, plus talking with NFL teams. I think Langi has earned his spot here. I think if you're here, on average, 80 to 85% of guys here drafted. I think he's one of the best in position. So all signs point to, yes, he'll be drafted, but again, have to take advantage of this opportunity here.
Great stuff, Erick Galko. Follow him at Optimum Scouting. We appreciate the time, my friend. Best of luck in Mobile.
Thanks, guys.